Novel, The Distance That Brought Us Closer, Episode 1. The First Meeting. Some meetings are just not meant to be. They come and stay at some point in life in such a way that even if a person wants later, he does not forget them. And sometimes, those meetings change us more than they change themselves. The main library of the university was silent as usual. The sunlight coming from the windows was creating light golden motifs on the wooden tables. Ariba Khan was turning the pages of the book in front of her, but the words were refusing to enter her mind. The eyes were on the text, but the thoughts were wandering elsewhere. It was his last school year. Life's decisions, future responsibilities, and society's expectations all weighed heavily on his heart. She knew that there was no longer room for carelessness, but the heart was still in some unknown anxiety. He took a deep breath and closed the book. Maybe not today, he groaned to himself. When Ariba got up from the chair, a moment of inattention knocked her off the table in front of her. The file is slipping out of hand. The words stopped at his lips. The man in front of him immediately stood up. He was taller than Ariba and clearly older in age. There was no anger on her face, no surprise, just a deep calm, which forced Ariba to pause involuntarily. "It's nothing." His voice was low, but confident. "That happens." Abbi looked up at once. "I couldn't pay attention." The man smiled slightly, a smile that had no texture. Sometimes not paying attention also becomes a compulsion of man. The phrase was common, but his style made it special. Ariba felt as if someone had described the state of her heart in words. He picked up his file again. There was silence for a moment. Then the man pointed to the book on the table. Ariba was shocked. "What are you reading?" he said. "Few people choose philosophy. There are more questions." Ariba fell out of his mouth. He shook his head in disbelief. "And the answer is no. But maybe that's the beauty of it." It was the first time that Ariba did not feel strange while talking to a stranger. But in that moment, he found himself. She knew that the person standing in front of her was much older than her. The experience was evident in his voice. "I'm Jayed Khan." He introduced himself. "There is a lot of research going on." Arya nodded her head slightly. "Arbaj Khan." Zvian looked at the clock, then picked up the file. "I have to allow it." He turned away, but took a few steps. "Shall I tell you something?" Ariba looked up. "Don't be afraid to ask questions," he said. "They lead people in the right direction." And then he's gone. Abbi stood there for a long time. There was a strange feeling in my heart, not joy, not panic, just a deep feeling that something different had happened. She knew that this meeting was not common, but she also knew that she could not understand the reason for this difference. She sat down again, but the book was still closed. There was only one thought in his mind. Is it necessary to understand the meaning of every meeting immediately? Perhaps not. Maybe some meetings call for time. He asks for silence. And, most of all, patience. Ariba had no idea how this short conversation today was going to test her faith, thinking, and emotions in the days to come. She didn't know that the age difference, which she had unconsciously felt, was going to be the biggest question for her tomorrow. But at present, it was just a meeting, a quiet start of a story told.